Hey guys, welcome to another Spring tutorial. In this one we'll be looking at Spring jdbc template. So jdbc template is used to simplify database access, using jdbc. So this is because using jdbc it somehow it involves a lot of work, so like opening connections, statements, resource sets, and then closing them. So jdbc templates abstract this logic, and you become more productive by using it. So let's get started. So I'll create a new project inside NetBeans, a new Maven project. You can use any ID you want. So I'll call it jdbc. Yes, finish. So once I have this, I'll be using MySQL for demonstration purposes. So here I'm going to add MySQL dependencies. So I'll go to this is dependent MySQL driver, sorry, dependencies, and then let me copy this from somewhere else. So once I have the dependency added, so let me first show you how to do it in jdbc, how you open connections and so on. So I'll create a new main class, yes, I'll call it test, and then finish. So how we connect is we say driver manager dot get connection. So our URL is jdbc MySQL localhost on port 3306. Database name is jdbc, and then username is root. I don't have a password. You can specify your password there. So this one throws an exception, so I'm going to add a throw statement, and then this one should return a connection. Once you have a connection, you are going to create a statement. Yes, create statement. And once you have a statement, you can use it to query. So let's say statement dot let me get one statement dot statement dot what statement dot yes, it's statement dot execute query. So I'm going to select from employee. So this one is going to be of type I think result set. And then once you have a result set, you can iterate over it. So you can say while no, not that one, while result set dot next result set dot result set dot you can say result set dot get string if you want to get the first name. That is going to be assigned to f name. Then we can print it s out v, and then Once you have all these statement, result set, and connection, you are going to close them at the end in reverse order. So you can say result set dot close, and then statement dot close, and then connection dot close. Normally what happens, these statements are inside the try catch blocks, try catch and finite blocks, so that you make sure that the connection and all the resources are released once your code finishes. And then, so what happens is that in most cases you may want to execute several queries, and then this one results into too many nested try catch blocks. So let me first create the table that we are going to use. So SQL minus U root minus P, create database jdbc, and then I'm going to create the employees table. Create table employee. Our employee has a first name, which is varchar of, and let's give it the maximum 255, and it's not null. Let's also add something else like name, which is also a variable character of length 255, and it's also not null. And then we can have a salary of type big of type decimal, 10 2. Again, it's not null. So sorry, let's create database. Let's use the database. Use jdbc, and then we are going to rerun the query. So desk employee, there we have our columns: first name, last name, and salary, all of them which are not null. So if I run this, it's not going to show me anything at the moment. So run file. So there is nothing in that table, so I'm just going to insert some dummy data. So you can go to generatedata.com, and then I want to have first name, which is it's going to be a human name. Let's use female names. And then we are going to have L name. It's also going to be a human name, and this time it's going to be a male name. And then we have salary is of type, this is a numeric, alphanumeric, numberage, currency. Let's go with numberage. It's between 10,000. That's 10, 1, 2, 3, and 50, 1, 2, 3. So, and also I want to generate 100 rows. I want to get type SQL. Database table name, this is employee. I want to MySQL, yes, drop table and close, yes, backwards, that's okay. Statement insert. We don't have a primary key for now, so let's generate in a new tab or window. So this is whatever the statements to execute. Let me copy this and then I paste it into the terminal. Okay, select from employee. Here we have our employee. So now I want to rerun the code. So here rerun. So you can see our first name has been fetched from database. So you can see we are doing too much work: opening connection, statement, result set, then iterating over the result set. So we can simplify this by using Spring jdbc template. So here I'm going to add Spring dependencies. So first things first, I'm going to pom.xml. So here I'm going to add Spring jdbc, and then I'm going to get the latest version. So 4.4.4 it is, yes. And as you can see, it's going to add other transitive dependencies like Spring Bean, Spring Core, Spring Transaction, Spring TX. So that's okay. And then I'm going to create a Spring context file. So first I want to go to files, jdbc source main. So here I want to add a new folder called resources. And then let me go back to the project. So here I want to create a Spring context file. So I'm going to have a Spring XML config. I'm going to call it root. And next, and then I don't need any of this, so I'm going to finish. So here I'm going to add so in Spring we are going to define a data source and also the Spring jdbc template class. So let me copy it from somewhere else. Source main resources root. Okay, this is the jdbc template. The data source should be of in class. So this is org dot spring framework. Okay, so there I was getting the class name. The data source name is, the class name is supposed to be org.spring framework .jdbc .data source .driver manager driver manager data source. There are so many data source implementations. So in case you are using your software in production or commercial environments, you may want to use a pooled data source. So like one from Apache, which is called dbcp2. There are so many implementations, so you can just Google for one. So here we specify the driver class, which is com.mysql.jdbc.driver, and then we specify the URL, which points to our employee database, our username, which is root, and then we don't have a password. Then we create a bin of type jdbc template, which is org.springframework.jdbc.core spring.jdbc template, and then it has a property of type which is it needs the data source, which is we just need to pass the data source that we created here above. So once we have that, we are going to create another class. So we are going to Java class. This one is called test1, and then we are going to create the main method public static void main. So we are going to create the Spring context. So we say application context, application sorry, application. What's not happening? Wait a second. Okay, so I've just realized that we are missing another dependency inside our POM. So I'm going to add a Spring context. This is also 4.4 release. And then here, so we can have application context. I'm going to call it just context is equals to new class path XML context, and then I'm going to pass in the root.xml as our source. And then once we have the context, we are going to get the bin of type jdbc template is suppose.class, and then I'm going to call it template. So now we can query our table again. So we can say template dot query for list. So we are going to query everything from that table. So we are going to get a list, and then the list is going to be of the elements inside the list. They are going to be of type of map, which is the key. The key will be a string, and then the value will be an object, because it can be a string, it can be a number, it can be anything. So we're going to say select all from employee. So this one is going to give us a list. Let me just call it employees. And then once we have a list, we can loop, or we can get a stream and then iterate over it. Employees.for each we can do system. So sorry, this one is going to be fname is equals to a. This is a map, so we're going to get key of fname. So the map, this map contains the key is the column header name, so, or the alias that you set. So inside our table, desk employee. So fname is the key, and then the value is the value at that row. Lname will be the key, and then the value will be the value at that row, and then and so on and so forth. So for instance, let me just select all from employee, and then I limit 1. So each row is a map inside that list. So the key is the column name or header name, or the alias that you set. So my key will be fname, and the value will be Mary. Lname will be the key, value will be Mason. Sal will be the key, and then the value will be 3320. So let me run the code again and see what happens. So run file. Sorry. Run file. So there's a problem. Let's see what's happening. Unknown database employee. Sorry, so our database is not employee but jdbc jdbc. So let's rerun again, run file. So there we have it. You can see we have first names again, like we did previously, using directly using jdbc. Now you can also query for a single object. Let's say you want to get the first name of an employee, so you can say template dot query for object. We want to select f name from employee, where L name is equals to, so let me see this one. So where L name is equals to Mason, we want to get the first name. So let me copy this and paste it here. We want our result type to be of type string, so string.class, and then we want to assign a return. So this is our, we are querying for f name, and then we are going to print it as out v. So when we run this, we should see our first name, the first name for that employee. So as you can see, the code is throwing the error because it expected to get one employee, but there are two. So you have to be very careful when using query for object. If the query does not return anything, it is going to throw an error. And if the query returns more than one row, it's also going to throw an error. So you have to be sure that there is no, the query returns at least at most one row. So that's how you query for an object. And also you can also once you query for a list of items, you can change them to be of a specific type. So for instance, you may have a value object class called employee, and then you wanted the result. Once you query, let's say you query everything from the employee table, you want to return a list of type employee. Instead of having a list of type map, you want to get a list of employees. So here you can say we have f name, our employee has an f name, an L name, and then big decimal, salary, and then report, and then getters and setters. So once we query from employees, from employee table, you want to get the result to be of to be a list of employees. So we say template dot query So there's this overloaded method which takes an SQL query, a string, and then a row mapper. That's what we're going to use. So we say select from employee, and then we new row mapper. We want each row to be an employee, and then we change this type T. This is supposed to be employee, and then we remove this exception. We put a semicolon there, yes, and then here we create a new return new employee. So here I'm going to create a new constructor at insert constructor. Let's first generate the default one, and then we create another convenience constructor, first name, name, salary. Generate, that's okay. So here we want to use this one, f name. So we are going to get f name from the result set, rs dot get string f name, and then result set dot get string l name. I don't know if we have a big decimal one. Result set dot get, yes, big decimal. This is salary. So we are supposed to assign this to, this one should be a list of employees, so I'll call it employees, and then we can loop over this one, employees dot stream, no, dot for each e, and then we are going to print, we can say dot for each, and then system dot out, and then plain line. So we are going to override the toString method. So alt insert, we say toString, as we want everything. So let's rerun again the code and see what happens. Run file. So there we have our employees with their details, first name, last name, and so on and so forth. So as you have seen, we can do match with jdbc template with match is. So I'll be back with more tutorials regarding Spring jdbc template. There are so many things. For instance, we have what is called batch insert, batch update. You can also have queries that insert items, and you want to get the primary keys of auto inserted. So we have things called key holders. So I'll be back with that, and I'll see you soon with that tutorials on how to do that.